Side. Thanks everybody for joining us tonight. Sean, can you see the slides online?
Yes, I can see them well.
Perfect, thank you. So this is maybe our fourth annual State of the Library. It's a great opportunity to bring all of the different organizations together. And as trustees know, I'll be doing this again tomorrow with the select board members. So we'll have an opportunity for them to learn a little bit more about what we've been doing over the past couple of years and what we'll be doing in the next year or so. So what we're going to talk about tonight are fiscal numbers from fiscal 24. That's the most recent state data that we have. A review of what we did in fiscal 25, looking at different usage numbers, and then a preview of fiscal 26, which we kind of just jumped into. So just a quick snapshot. The state and the Mass Board of Library Commissioners breaks libraries down according to population groups. In this population group, there's 51 libraries. So I just kind of took some of the numbers from both polls, from the top to the bottom, the middle, and a few other numbers, just so we can compare ourselves to others within our grouping. Just looking at this, you'll notice that we are the smallest population in this group, but we do pretty well as far as CERC activity, CERC per FTE, and other numbers across the board there. Again, this is based on the Mass Board of Library Commissioners grouping of libraries.
What does FTE stand for?
Full-time employee. Yeah, full-time employee. So just looking at that a little closer. Within that whole range, we're 42nd out of 51 for population, but we're in the top half for everything else. And we're better than the top half really for CERC per capita, CERC per full-time employee, appropriations and appropriations per capita. So we're doing really well with the resources we have. I'll look at Nick. We do even better with more resources. I know you're going to the learn committee after this. No question. But so we're doing really well for a town of our size. Our population really uses the library and is reflected in a lot of those numbers. So I'm going to shift into fiscal 25, which we just finished. In fiscal 25, total collection use was up 14% over the previous year, and 21% when you look over the last 5 years. So we were over 440,000 checkouts, whether they're digital, whether they're physical, whatever they might be. Digital numbers were up 38% from year to year. Wow. So I have numbers going back 10 or 15 years when you tracked digital use in the hundreds. So now, we're into the 100,000s of that. Physical usage is staying steady. People are still checking out books, library things. What's changed a lot is people aren't checking out as many CDs, DVDs, or audiobooks. They're getting all of that streaming through the library. Physical book use is still doing pretty well. This is just a 5-year picture. So you can see overall that top line, total usage continues to go up. The print in the middle is kind of a little topsy-turvy, but it's right down the middle there. And then digital use was high in that first year, that was COVID year. Returned to normal in fiscal 22, and it's been going up ever since. So COVID was an anomaly year. When we look overall, we're really close to, digital and physical. You see 46% physical books, 45% digital. That's all digital. I'll get a little bit deeper into that. And last year, people were still checking out DVDs, partially because we have a dedicated librarian who has complete collections of just about any TV show you'll ever want, things that aren't necessarily streaming. We have good resources for that. And year over year, print in 24 took up 52% of use. Digital only 37%. So you can see the digital keeps increasing. And while I'm talking about that, I'll just remind most of us in the room already know this, that while the print book still cost us $15 to $18 less than you go to the store to buy it, Digital copies cost upwards of $40, $50, up to $100 for audiobooks. So the digital copies, much more expensive. You don't get to keep them forever either. E-content, so the digital part of things. More than half of it is ebooks and audiobooks. Audiobooks continues to be the highest growing section of our digital. And then little bits and pieces here of music and video. Other captures language learning, magazines, Boston Globe, all kinds of different little niche things. Also something called niche, which helps you learn how to use different online services. So that number kind of fluctuates. That number also fluctuates depending on when Miss Sarah goes to schools, and the schools all of a sudden are using a lot of the cool tools from our school digital section. So this is more or less to show you that half of what the digital output is ebooks and audiobooks.
So Will, just to be clear on that, ebooks, you're still reading, but on a device.
Right,
And the audiobooks you're listening to.
you're listening to it. And just this year, we made a change with an OCLN. Audiobooks used to go out for 2 weeks, so now they go out for 3 weeks. Because if you're listening to anything nonfiction, they could be 24 hours, 48 hours, it could be longer things, so it's been a better user experience this past year since we upped that.
There was legislation, wasn't there proposed to sort of address the pricing on ebooks?
Sure.
How's that?
Better than last year, so I'll do an aside here, we have 2 major pieces of legislation in the State House right now. They were in the Tourism, Arts and Culture Committee. One is an ebook legislation that's been reported out favorably by the committee on the Senate side. The House side is still reviewing it. That legislation would create a commission, which would include librarians, members of the publishing industry, and different other academic librarians and things like that. And to report out to the state, to the legislature within 1 year, best practices for pricing, access, and ownership. 2 years ago, when we introduced this, it was fought by the publishers. This year, when we had a hearing, I don't remember where, I think it was in June, we had the hearing at this point. There were no members of the opposition at the hearing. And there was limited written opposition to it, so we're moving in the right direction now, we've been making more friends. The other legislation is a freedom to read bill, which is an anti-censorship bill. Like that same thing, that was reported out favorably on the Senate side, and it's still being reviewed on the House side. We've heard hints that the Senate will look to call a vote on it, banned books week, so that's about a month away. So we're optimistic that will move even further along. But good, yeah, we're working on it, just to try to get those prices down, especially for the ebooks.
Thank you.
Yep. What we're looking at now, and it can show print usage. Kids, families, the majority of the print usage is coming out of the children's room. And the stacks looks this tall, so on the opposite side, digital usage, primarily adult usage. Children's usage has grown as we've spent more time ordering for that age group. For the adult usage, a lot of it's just driven by the medium, so. But then you put the two together and it's pretty even split, right? Every year it's pretty evenly split overall usage between children's and families and adults. And the teens always have a little sliver right there. That doesn't change very much. But every month, and you see this in our monthly reports, the physical usage of children's is getting into the 50s and then 60% of total usage. This is another thing that we started tracking just because there's people who come in and use the building, not necessarily for checking out books, not necessarily for programming. They come and use it as an office, as a space to gather, whatever it might be. So we've been trying to usage, Wi-Fi usage. We have software that's been tracking this. After the first year, fiscal 21, which was the COVID year, the numbers kind of fluctuate, but they go up and down about the same amount. Our number of new users declines every month because it remembers you if you keep coming month after month. It's just another way of just seeing how many different, a different way of tracking how many people are using the library, maybe passively, on a basis. Programming. Programming continues to be, one of the driving forces of the library. Our numbers were very close to 2024. Another needless plug here is we can't get those numbers up much higher unless we have more parking. So, but sorry. But these numbers show steady growth. We're slightly down year over year and partially due to one or two major programs that we had in 24, like part of the speaker series that we had the lesser attendance this year, right? It's not a significant decrease. You can see the part of that came from the children's speaker was not as popular as Keep the Cat. So but you'll see the children's is the driving force. It does more programming than adult teen combined. It probably does as much in 2 or 3 months as the other programs do for the whole year. I'm gonna take this opportunity to let Sarah talk a little bit about programming, about children's.
So, one of the reasons these numbers are so high for the children's department is because of story time. We do story time almost every day of the week. And our story times are well attended. If you've ever tried to come here on a Tuesday morning and you cannot get a parking spot to save your life, it is because of the approximately 100 to 150 people who are here every Tuesday morning for story time. I just did story time on Zoom 15 minutes ago and had a robust group there for that. We also, in addition to all the story times that we offer, we program for the school age audience, and we have a multitude of art instructors. We had coding this past weekend. We have cooking class and life-size games and everything under the sun you can possibly think of. We're doing it in the children's room, and I credit Tori Fisk, our children's librarian, who is a programming mastermind and does a really wonderful job planning out our slate of events for the year for us. We're very thankful to have her. On the adult side, adult programming is in a transitional moment right now with the retirement of Jean Blatty in the summertime. We are moving towards programming with a team of people who bring a lot of different interests and expertise to the table. We are looking forward to shaking up adult programming and offering lots of new things. So stay tuned. But in the short term, our book clubs are resuming in another week or two. Jean is still running the concert series for us, and our first concert is this weekend.
Yes.
Yes.
This weekend,
Right.
yes. We're looking forward to having Jean back in the fold, and yes, the adult services team is really excited about programming and ready to bring you lots of new things. So stay tuned. That's it.
Thank you, Sarah. Half of these numbers are Sarah's, either her children's programs that she just did, or her cookbook club, or her celebrity book club, or any number of other things.
I do sleep from time to time.
Sarah, excuse me, you could have a book club at the gym now, because they're doing book clubs at the gym.
Oh, well, we aren't currently doing, we are running a book club at Steel and Rye at the moment. We have not expanded to a gym just yet.
Yeah.
Because
But,
Devin has-
Anything is possible.
Yeah.
I will bring it to the programming team.
Yeah.
Just a couple of the highlights from fiscal 24 and 25, last 18 months or so. We have Calvin Hennick as our third writer in residence. This continues to be a really popular program. Many of his programs are full, some have wait lists. His last program, I believe is Thursday, the 18th. I have it written down for later, I'll mention it. And we'll be ready to announce the next writer in residence very soon. We finished the story hour 2.0, completed the technology piece of that in the last year. We have 2 Nook study pods, the things that look like phone booths up on the second floor, which we had one was being used a little bit. We added the second, all of a sudden they're both being used almost all of the time. They're especially good in the afternoon when we have all the middle school students. They're pretty quiet. People do Zoom calls in there. Some people just study. So we're already talking about, do we expand and have more? Outreach, we just had our 4th annual. We had the 3rd, this was the 4th, open house the other day with food trucks. A big thing that hopefully was a minor thing for all our users, but we upgraded our online calendar and exam pass program. That was a big deal. Sarah led that program. It's a big deal on the staffing side. There was a learning curve, but it's a huge improvement / the other company ended up going under while we were in the process of switching over. So good timing. So that's a little bit of looking behind us. This is looking at us now. This is roughly what the fiscal 26 budget looks like. The largest segment, of course, is town appropriation. Then the other pieces of the pie are funding that we get, whether it's from foundation donations, friends programming and museum passes, or trustees when we have projects like the patio project a couple of years ago, or cleaning projects like that. So about 200,000, give or take, in any given year, and that increases is from the other organizations here in this room. Just looking at some of the bigger things that we've talked about over the last couple of years, that the trustees and capital improvements have put money towards. The sorter that we replaced in fiscal 24, IT infrastructure, which we've worked with the IT department and Rob Mallet. We still have not finished funding 1.5 positions that were in our strategic plan. And the town generator was approved this past town meeting, so that is coming sometime in fiscal 26 into 27, depending on delivery of the generator. Trustees have also done the patio. They've continued working on parking, and one of the things we're working on this year is refurbishing the reading room, the large print reading room, which is up on our left hand side. They continue to fund staff development, whether it's conferences or memberships, and the writer in residence program. So that's that piece of the pie that we were looking at earlier. The foundation has funded things like the Nook study pods, books and materials. They help make it affordable for us to buy ebooks because it's above and beyond what we're able to fund through the town. Also funding the speaker series over a number of years. And then the 2.0 project for the children's story hour room. A lot of the things that are outside of a regular budget are things that the foundation will fund. And then the Friends fund museum passes, library programming, and if they charged us by the hour volunteering, that would be a much higher number because friends are here all the time.
Yes.
Or they're delivering books to people who can't get to the library. Those are the finances and the other things that friends are able to pay for. And then this is another way of looking at it. This bottom piece shows what we do in any given year. Most of it's just general operations, but we try to set aside another maybe 1/5 of it for things to meet our strategic plan initiatives. And part of that was study pods, part of that was updating the children's room. Part of that is going to be looking at book lockers and other solutions. So when you take that 18%, throw it up to the thing on the right, that shows how we're able to fund those, whether it's through town capital, for like the generator, the foundation, for study pods, etc. Trust funds when we have patio projects or other projects, and then the town budget makes up pieces of the rest of that. That's again, big picture finances for the library. Fiscal 26 town budget right now maintains staffing and status quo, completely funded our book budget to the state minimum requirements. it's important for us, especially trustees, to note that we've passed the final year of the employee contract, so there'll be costs in future budgets because of that. The only other changes were inflationary increases to utility lines and contractors. And just reviewing our strategic priorities, these are what came out of our strategic plan. Side note, getting towards the end of our strategic plan, we're gonna be beginning within the next year, our strategic plan for another 3 to 5 years. But right now, we are a community hub. We offer excellent customer service. We provide a wide variety of collections and services. And we offer great programming activities for people of all ages. We keep it simple. These are the things we do. We want to do them well. We want to continue to do them. How are we going to expand in fiscal 25 and beyond, fiscal 26 and beyond? Speaker series, book lockers, these are things funded by the foundation. Continue with open house events. Expand patron point. The trustees know that this is our new attempt to have a welcoming email sent to everybody who gets the library card. It's a way to try to encourage people to use the library for reasons. We've had staffing changes that Sarah talked about. We've been able to promote from within, which has been exciting for us. And we're going to continue to talk about parking. So much so that it'll be twice. And then staff training and conference attendance is something that Sarah and I are really passionate about. We try to get as many staff to as many things as possible. We're fortunate that libraries are good at offering things at a state level, national level, even on a kind of local, regional level for that. I already talked about the state legislation. Thank you, Kathleen. I don't have to talk about that one again. I will say the state budget, as we all know, is tight. I don't expect increases in state aid to public library. I fear there might be decreases in state aid to public library. I was on a call on Thursday with the Mass Board of Library Commissioners. And everything depends on what's going to happen at the federal level. If the other shoe drops and all of a sudden the state has to pick up healthcare costs, I don't know what to say about that. Library trust funds continue to be invested in Bartholomew. A list of expenditures that I've already been talking about. And now I will turn it over to the foundation and friends if they'd like to speak, or before that, if people want to ask questions, whatever the room wants to do.
I just have a question. Multiple people have asked this, and I feel like I should answer it. If you wanna use a study room upstairs, you have to reserve, like the one behind reference.
It's first come, first served.
But most of the ones up there you can use. There's only that, I think that one's first come, but.
Everything upstairs is first
Everything
come.
is first come.
Oh, everything.
Yeah,
Okay.
everything's first
So
come.
you don't do it in advance on that. No.
Yeah. We've looked into it. We've talked to other libraries about it too. It works well. It works really well in college situations when they have like 10 to 20 study rooms in any building, but when we have such a limited number, if people remember, we only have one. When the building opened, there was one study room. Then we added a couple and we added 2 more, so we're up to 5 or 6 or whatever, but yeah, just too many fights and arguments over reservations. That's the message we received.
And if we took reservations and then the people didn't show up and you've got people waiting in front of you, it's easier to go on a first come, first served basis.
First come, first served, but how long can they use it for?
2 hours,
And they can stay if no one else is waiting.
right? And they do.
Time, we don't keep anyone's name or contact information, but we write down what time they go in. And if it's been 2 hours and someone's waiting, we will approach them and ask them to give someone else a chance. So, and people are across the board pretty amazing about that.
Silly question about ebooks, is there, so if you take a book out of the library and you return it, a physical book,
Yep.
there's no extra cost to the library. You take out an ebook and you don't end up reading it, but you take it out, that sort of counts against how many times we can lend it without having to charge, is
100%, yeah.
is it worth telling people that?
Do you think people are checking out wild numbers of audiobooks and not listening to them?
I
don't hope,
I have done it and I know not to feel bad about it.
Yeah.
I
No,
don't
it's a
know
great
if you
question,
tell us
it's a great
people.
question. I do it, like, I'll get, like, all, you know, it's like everybody, right? You put all
You get
your,
too busy.
you put your holds on all at one time and they all come in at the same time.
Yeah.
I would get 3 audiobooks on Libby at the same time, and I'm like, I can't listen to like 70 hours of audiobooks. So you can not check it out.
Do not check it out, but is it worth us telling people,
Could
don't
be.
check it out if you're not gonna use
It
it,
could be,
cause it actually costs us money.
yeah.
And I
Well, how
find
much
that-
money does it cost us? Let me ask that, I'm sorry.
So that's a, I mean, good question there too. So audio, let's say an audiobook costs $110 for us, and it only goes out 12 times, so it's like $10, it's costing about $10 if somebody wants to check it out. Yeah, if they get it, that's on Libby, if they get it through Hoopla, they're only checking it out really if they want it, because that's on demand, like there's no holds there. And the average Hoopla cost is $2.17, like, per item.
That was another question, Hoopla and.
Hoopla less expensive because it's on demand, but it has less to choose from.
Yeah.
And I won't say lesser quality, but like not the big 6 publishers with like the best, New York Times bestsellers. Yeah,
But they often have the cookbook club books, so the cookbook club really likes, yes.
But they have a lot of
I
comic
used
books,
it Labrador.
TV shows. They have a lot of different stuff, so, yeah.
So just to build on what you said, I think I've been given the option, if a hold has come in, I have the option to push it out. another
Yeah.
2 weeks.
Yes,
So I'm assuming that doesn't, the library doesn't get charged to check
No,
out when
we
I
don't.
push it out.
we don't.
Okay.
So it's.
It might be worth educating people to that.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing to think about. So it's a patron point service that we signed up for welcome emails. It also has a way of targeting people who use, whether they go to programming or whatever. We might be able to segment out people who use Libby and just send like a did you know email to those.
Yeah.
That group, so that might be something. Yeah. Yeah. If there aren't questions could come up from you, but otherwise I'll welcome the foundation if they want.
As you're just a reminder, the foundation doesn't do a major gala or a major capital campaign anymore. Until we have maybe a parking project to help fund. For example, what the foundation does is it monitors this plan what's all mail. In compliance with the state to maintain our nonprofit status, so we're still a functional foundation. Even though we're not doing major fundraising efforts, but we still do our annual mailing. Providing folks that you can support the library, and we are now doing it after our major speaker series. So we plug at the speaker series to sign up, so we get some more folks on the foundation mailing list. We also try to pull folks into the library that maybe aren't coming to the library, but now will because our awesome speakers have drawn them in. And then we send out our mailing to the community right after the speaker series, because I'm assuming big events, so it's not showing people know. So that's now this point. The Friends now does the secret holiday mailing, which in some cases is can be a little lucrative. It's toward the end of the year. But we are playing off the momentum of that the speaker event, getting that email about the event, and then we send handwritten notes to our top 50. And we're monitoring the foundation, will of the director, I make sure that the director and assistant director are supplied with the need as they're planning their projects and capital. And also, so we're in compliance, we're still raising money, and we're ready to serve at the pleasure of our administration.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Shannon?
Still with the Friends, over the summer, we did a lot of community outreach. We were at the summer story times. So it's a partnership with the Milton Public Library, Milton Public Schools, and the Milton Early Childhood Association. There does story times 4 times in the summer, and Friends get out 20 books. At the farmers market, there were 6 story times. So we had days, so there were some kids like you for the program at competition. Because they like. That. So he's just. Here and we have opportunities to be out in the community. Bring your ice cream. Way that we can have community outreach and make connection with patrons. And so they know what are the missions, what is the mission of Friends and where it is. And when we think about our best asset for fundraising, it's really the bookshop. So the bookshop makes about $18,000 a year. And when you think about that, it's an amazing amount of student staff book, well, I mean, like board books or books, that's the average price there. Our key, just like I will mention, our goal is to raise between $30,000 and $40,000 a year. That breaks down to, there's a budget of $12,000 for adult programs, $12,000 for children's programs, $2,000 for teen programs, and the rest of the other like special events here at the library. So again, any opportunity that we can get people to check out the bookshop and learn more about it. If you'd like to know, I like to share like fun facts about the bookshop. And the books that are donated, so if you wanna share with anybody who's interested in it, we're collecting all these books, we're doing a cleanup. There's a bookshop outside, as you know, outside there, with the library to the point where you return books, return them. Those books, we sell excellent condition books in the bookshop. And if something is not in excellent condition, we donate it to, we give it to the Bay State Books, which is run by. It's a guy named Larry, he grew up in Milton, and he started the company to get books out of landfills. And so if something is not an excellent, like again, we advertise that we only want excellent books, but we still get 2 cents per pound. Books that go to Bay State Books. And then those books are either used for prison programs, they're either sold by Bay State Books, and the last stop, which I think is really interesting, is they become installation in India. So. That book has a long journey. That's it. In the bookstore, we got great feedback from the library staff that sometimes the hours can be confusing. So starting November 1st, we're gonna do Tuesdays and Saturdays 10 to 2. Wednesdays and Thursdays 3 to 5. Because we still want to have the morning and the afternoon, so that we just do 2 times. So we'll work on our publicity. So it's great feedback. And then just highlights for the fall, see, we have a fundraiser if you need like bulbs for your house. We do like wreaths and amaryllis, winter flowers, we call it the high yield fundraiser, so you'll see that, check out the Friends Facebook page. National Friends Library Week, we'll do a bag sale of donuts for all of it, just.
People like free food.
Yeah, I loved it. So the 18th is in October is a bag sale, we have a tea party, more information to come, we're gonna have like our Friends public meeting. So the public would be in this room here, and then we're really looking forward to in November, on Monday, November 17th, we're gonna have a fall fundraiser at Steel and Rye, it's called What's on a Cocktail, an evening with book loving friends, so we hope you can join us, we'll send out more information. And we're gonna have literary trivia, and Jake Sullivan is gonna be the kind of. And then in December, we'll do the stairs hosting. We're gonna have a bag sale and then we have a shop with the event, and then just last thing I want to close on is about our volunteers. Like we have about 60 active volunteers. The volunteers are in the bookshop, they're helping with programs, they're at community events. We also have an active group of people who are doing library doorstep. So every Friday, we're James checking in with us about what patrons are requesting books and that are essentially homebound residents to be negative. And so we have volunteers delivering to their homes. We are up to 10 little free libraries. Thank you, trustees, helped fund 3 new little free libraries, which is amazing. So thank you for working on that selection this week. And we always need more volunteers. There's a lot more volunteers, especially like helps with events, fundraising, so spread the word, you know, anyone who wants to help with the library. And thank you all for everything you do. It's nice to like connect the dots and see how we support Climate. Thank the staff.
Thanks, Jonathan.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I had a thank you slide that I didn't go ahead to the end there. Where I just, thanks to everybody in the room, we can't just thank everybody. I have to thank the staff first and foremost, because we couldn't do any of this without the staff. There has been some turnover, which we'll talk about later in our meeting. And we'll miss the people who've left, but we've got great new faces and great new places. We have new people coming on board. Sarah and I are both really excited about the new shape of the team. I think it's only gonna lead to bigger and better things. We've become much more customer service focused over the last couple of years. I think like Sarah mentioned, the change in the programming team is gonna be exciting. But the staff makes everything happen. We've been interviewing people for circulation desk jobs over the last couple of weeks. And Sally keeps using out of date references for the people applying, saying, oh, we're looking for somebody who, was like in Mayberry, and I was no, and she's like, oh, somebody from Cheers, the library's like Cheers. And the people are like, what's Cheers? And we all feel really old for a second, but no, really, we're really fortunate that we have a lot of people at that front desk, that people walk in, they know each other's name. And that's kind of our goal. And so couldn't do it without the staff, but we also couldn't do a lot of what we do without knowing we have the support of the trustees, the Friends of the Foundation. Sarah's great at always coming up with new ideas and new plans, and then she knows they sometimes have a price tag, but she also knows, I know that we have support, like there's always some, usually not an issue.
I came up with one today.
Do I know about it?
Yes.
Okay.
And I came up with one last week.
Yeah, so, thank goodness, she comes up with the ideas, I come up with who I'm gonna ask.
How to make
money
it.
from. But it's great, Sarah's gotta go to our next program.
I'm sorry, but it's great to see you all. Thank you so much for everything that you do for us.
Thanks,
We
Sarah.
appreciate it.
Thank you, Sarah. That's what I have. If this wasn't enough, tomorrow at 7, the select board. It'll be half the slides tomorrow, so. Thank you.
Thank you guys for coming and joining us. You're more than welcome to stay for the entire evening, like we have a meeting after this.
You're gonna put my kids to bed.
Yeah. You want to take like a 2-minute recess or?
Yeah, the trustees will start in 5 minutes.
Sounds good. Online, I'm gonna.
That's good. That's good.
Grab the pizza if you want some pizza. Welcome, everybody, to the September 8th Trustees of the Library meeting. And that was a great State of the Union presentation. Will, thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks to the foundation and thanks to the Friends. It's looking for citizen speak. See, anybody here? Move on to the Secretary's report, looking for the approval of the June 10th, 2025 meeting. Minutes. Anybody have any questions for Susan? If not, I'll take a motion for approval. Okay, all in favor? Aye. Move it.
Yes.
Did you say that?
Say aye.
Or Cindy, say hi. Is Cindy here? She's on.
Who's listening?
Okay.
Yeah,
Sean,
I'm here. I'm
Elizabeth?
here, but it's just really loud. But I did read the minutes and I have no comment.
Same here. I'm an I. I said I.
Okay, thank you. All right, moving on to the report of the building committee. Parking update. Tomorrow night, Will and myself are going to be joined by Sharta Guys to present to the select board. We're looking for to do a feasible study or RFP. You can fill me in with what I'm missing here, Will. We're hoping the select board will join the trustees in the cost of that. It's up to $10,000. We believe this is the next step in our ongoing parking.
So over the summer, Chris and I had 2 meetings, one with Cheryl and Ben Zoll, the chair of the select board. Another with Ben Zoll, Cheryl, and Nick Connors, the assistant town administrator. Both meetings were about parking, both led us to what we're gonna try to do tomorrow night, which is recommend that the select board form a joint task force with the trustees, a small group that would call for an RFP. Because we have identified that the Canton Ave parcel that's owned by the police station, but on Canton Ave is the ideal location. Now, the RFP will tell us, should we build a parking lot? Should we build a parking lot with housing? Should we build a parking lot with a cafe? The RFP will try to get what there's the most interest in, and what would be the most cost-effective means of going, whether it's public-private, whether there's grants involved, so that's our goal tomorrow night.
The cost of that RFP is up to 10,000, probably won't cost 10,000, but it'll be up to 10,000. We are hopefully going to see if the select board will help the town help us, but if not, I am actually looking for a motion from one of the trustees in a second, hopefully, authorizing us to pay up to 10,000 for this.
So move.
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
They both moved online. Susan. Earn update, Will, I'll pass that over to you.
Sure. Just gonna do this, see if this helps as well. I thought we'd be able to see that.
Good job. I see it, I see Sean.
There we go. So there's been a delay in or an update in that the Consolidated Facilities Department were busy working in schools all summer. They're removing the remaining urn in the next 2 weeks. And Tom McCarthy is getting us quotes for replacements, whether they're in urn or something else that will go up there. And he'll have quotes and ideas for us for our November meeting. But in the next 2 weeks, we should have that single urn removed, so there'll be none up there at the time. Gonna process.
Any questions about the urns?
Finally, something's done.
Awesome, thank you, Will.
Yep.
Moving on to the Personnel Committee,
Yep, just an update that our director received his evaluation, the assigned evaluation process before it's cleared back at for review. And we are going to begin the next year with collecting the data as described there, and also hitting the data points that are in the strategic plan rubric that you will see talk about later as well. So all thumbs up on that going forward.
Thank you. Any questions about Will's evaluation? Moving right along, report of the equity inclusion, open house update. Fantastic time.
You were there, it's a fantastic day. No, everybody came, that's sitting around, so thank you, Sean, I know you came, thank you very much. For Cindy, actually, she's online too, thank you for coming, that helping support the event. The foundation was there giving out swag, and the friends do a great job having volunteers to, and get the face painting done and the food trucks, we paid for the food trucks, but they did all that setup with us. We pulled in a huge crowd.
Yeah.
And the food trucks were there for very late. Yeah, and I saw a lot of new people, new faces as well that I hadn't seen before, so that was nice. Probably not necessarily use the library. And tours, went around, so book sales, it was good.
Yeah, we had over 300 people, we had handed out some library cards, everything was great. We were curious how many tacos were gonna be served. And they did it by people, not by the number of tacos, so it's double this number, but, when we shut the line down at like 7:45 or something.
Yeah.
It was 199, and we had prepaid for 199 people. 199 people had gotten tacos. The ice cream was gone like immediately. Yeah, that was really good. So, we'll start talking about it again. I don't know, maybe we just do desserts.
I don't know, I know, we talked about it, so many different options.
Yeah, so we'll,
And then thank you that, the musicians came from, Milton High School, they always do a great job, they come down and play, and, the great group of kids that came and we had some fun, so.
Just put the donuts and music down here and have them all come down here.
Yeah, and ice cream, and just that.
donuts get messy.
I know.
But ice cream. I'm conservative,
The cleaning has been happening, has
Yeah.
happened in the past, but it's not been, great, so.
Good.
Have we set a date for next year already, or we?
First Thursday of the month, September. No, I don't know,
No, probably, but
probably
Well, I heard
something like
Labor
that.
Day's late next year.
Yes, the second.
Oh, so maybe the second Thursday, we'll fill in something.
That sounds good, the second percent.
Town DEI update?
So our DEI committee remains small for the town, but I'm still on the committee. We did an initial survey of this municipal staff in April. And we did 5 welcoming events. We're trying to build a more welcome and inclusive workforce. We did those in the spring. We're having a follow-up event in December where we're gonna try to have it at one location. And make it so that all the town departments can come in for like a lunch or a breakfast, and come through. And mingle a little bit more. So we're trying to do some more of those welcoming events. And in between, offering different kinds of training too, but we're trying to do kind of the soft team building things as well as the approaching it through trainings. It's good, we're making progress slowly but surely.
Any questions on that?
So this, I'm sorry, so it's not an open house, it's team building, is that what you're doing with people within?
Within the municipal
district?
staff, municipal staff is more team building.
And how are you trying to recruit more people of diversity into the town?
So that's a whole different conversation.
Okay.
So the events we've been doing have been like kind of a team building within we did one for 5 different departments, kind of. Now we're gonna try to do a bigger one. But the committee, Carla Feedy, who's the HR director for the town, is kind of the lead of our committee. So she's been building that into the HR aspects of the town of Milton. Where we advertise jobs and kind of questions we asked in interviews. That's coming out of the HR department. Yeah, that's a good question. That's a big piece of it. Yeah.
Any other questions? All right. Moving on to the report of the strategic planning committee. The strategic planning committee met, I think, a couple of weeks ago, I thought we met.
Who's there?
I think I had to leave halfway through it, but
Yeah, if you have a moment, to scroll. I think it's the page 12, 13 is right after the, evaluation of the director. You can see the rubric or the action plan, with deliverables, and deadlines. Of the strategic plan for the next year. If you recall, there's sort of 2 parts. as a library is required to be in compliance with the state to have a strategic plan that's voted on by the trustees, that's sent into the state. The subcommittee, then the trustees, meets with director to see that the strategic plan is being implemented. So that is the focus of our meetings. And it's, we are on track for that and have a good plan, more detailed plan for the upcoming year. The other thing that's on the horizon is the next public committee to be formed to work on the next strategic plan that must be done and then be submitted to the state. And the intent of that committee is to include members involved, agencies in town. So we have lots of voices and representation to give input to that strategic plan. And so that's not determined yet. That will be coming up this fall as part of the next step. So we're in compliance with the state. So you get a moment, please look at that rubric if you haven't already, and you'll see many of the things we talked about, deliverables and the dates that they've done.
Thank you, Paul. Does anybody have any questions or thoughts about the strategic plan? No.
Where do you recruit for people to come onto this?
Right, well,
plan?
Yes, so really directors would start, and then ask folks that knows certain situations in the town, but by all means, if there are folks that would be interested in that, or we recommend, send them bills way or my way at mine.
So it's a good question, Susan. I think, so it's an exciting time. It's always an exciting time to kind of review what the library's doing and where we want to go. So I think, you know, what I've learned is a smaller committee is more manageable for something like this, but you involve people in focus groups and in other public forum meetings. And I think we're gonna have a planning meeting for planning, like, we're gonna plan the plan. I'm gonna just keep saying the word, the plan, where ideally we'll have like a friend foundation and a trustee or two, but maybe we'll look for residents who might have expertise in, whether it's technology, where are we going in technology, whether they have, work in a library in a different field or in a different town. Whether they're public programmers or HR people, whatever, like somebody who will talk about what we want to see as part of the team that will be doing the planning. Just to make sure that we are drawing in different perspectives. Yeah.
It's page 15 of the back.
It's deep, yeah. But it'll be a good process.
If I remember last time, it was different focus discussions.
Yeah, we had focus groups, I can't remember how many now. We did some offsite, like we might have done some at like Fuller Village. Or the Council on Aging, right? We did some here, different times of day, trying to draw different audiences. But we could do the bigger ones like that, where we also invited, we've got a list of, that was another thing the committee worked on. We got a list, probably 75 people that we targeted and invited to come to focus groups, in addition to them being open. When we were like, hey, you represent this constituency, we'd love to have you, or we do one-on-one interviews if necessary or something. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a good, it's, you always learn, it's great and frustrating, because you learn things no matter what. But there's always gonna be people who say things like, you should have children's programs, and then the children's department pulls their hair out. Or, oh, you should do concerts, and then Jean used to pull her hair out. So, but that just tells us we're not getting our message to everybody. We're doing those things, but we're learning.
You have a parking issue.
You have a parking issue. So, yes.
So I had a question, if you don't mind. Can you hear me? Okay,
Yes,
thank you,
yes.
Jim. I just was wondering, for the deliverables that are coming out October 1st of this year, like I saw there was one of the deliverables mentioned a social worker being at the library during library hours. So I guess my question is, will that social worker be at the library on October 1st, or is it more so like that's when like we're going to put out like a public announcement for the social worker?
The dates are more, they're gonna, the social worker will be here by October 1st. That's what that means. So we've already started to put it in our newsletters. And was at, the town social worker was at the open house last week, Ann Grossman. We've worked with her on and off for a little while now. So that date means that it was the activity would begin by October 1st. That's the goal date. We're actually gonna start a little bit earlier than that.
Yeah, I was just curious because now it looked like you had a few different deliverables specifically for October 1st of this year. So it sounds
Yeah.
like all of them are going to be met by then.
Right. Some of them are because they're already in process and they might start before October 1st. Some hopefully there or not too far after.
Thank you. That's all I needed.
Thanks, Sean.
Thanks, Sean. Any other questions? We do need to make this formal, so I would be looking for a motion to approve the fiscal year 27 Milton Public Library strategic action plan. Thank you. I said a second. John, thank you. Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Sean.
Get that, Susan?
You know what?
All right, move on. Actually, underneath the committee reports here on the second page. We are looking for additional funding for the continued deep cleans. We are looking for the approval of up to 5,000 from the building fund. To support these.
And just a reminder, this is something that the trustees started last year, where in addition to the cleaners, we did a series of deep cleanings of not only like bathrooms, but floors, hard surfaces. We did stairwells and others. And we've started working on getting quotes from our new cleaning company. So that they'd already have access to the building to have them do different deep cleans throughout this next half of the year. And this money would come from the building fund within the trust funds.
Yeah. Have proof that's.
So move.
All in favor? Aye. All right, Will, over to you for the director's report.
I know you listened to me for a half an hour already. But I just wanted to try to hit on a number of things. First of all, I'll try to go through. I'm not gonna talk too much statistics, but I'll talk about that kind of the first page of my report. Jean Halati retired. And as I announced at our last meeting. The new head of adult services is Regan Mulcahy. Regan started at the library part-time at the circulation desk some time ago. Well, when she was doing that, she went to library school, graduated, became a full-time reference librarian. And now she's transitioning to the head of adult services. She'll be leading the new programming team, among other things. She hits ground running, and she's already great to work with and partner with. Similar to Regan, Michaela Susi joined us as a part-time circulation library assistant a number of years ago. Michaela graduated with her library degree in the spring. And it so happens that she's gonna take Regan's old reference position. So now Michaela is the full-time reference librarian with Regan upstairs. She's taking over some of what Jean was doing, including the art gallery, library at your doorstep, among other things. She's really excited, and we're really excited to be able to promote people from within. Because we have a part-time library assistant job open. We've filled that position. Fallon Heelan, who was a library page, not too long ago.
That's awesome.
And has graduated from Emerson. And is doing a number of things, but one of the number of things she's doing is she's working part-time back here at the Milton Public Library, so she is. If you see her, she's at the desk, the circulation desk, she's been here a couple of weeks now. So it's really exciting to have somebody come back like that. Since last we met, Rita Fontina, who was a part-time reference librarian, is retired. She worked in the public schools before she came to the public library. We've posted for that position. We've interviewed and we're ready to make an offer on that. Our goal is to have us fully staffed by the end of the month. And Kathy Che, who was with us for about 2 years at circulation desk part-time, she moved, so she left the library because of a move. We also have been interviewing for that part-time circulation position, and we're probably ready to make an offer on that this week. So that we'll have 2 new part-timers at the library, probably 2 weeks' time. And we will be back to fully staffed. So we're really fortunate when we posted those open positions to have 20 to 30 applicants interested in working here at the Milton Public Library. So that's been great. Part of the other transition, Sarah mentioned the programming committee. That's a great new approach to that. We've also formed an outreach task force. And Tyler Vachon, who is team librarian, is going to be leading that with us. There'll be a number of us. We're going to try to be more specific in where we do outreach, who we invite in, try to spread that out a little bit more and have a team that meets. Our goal is to go to different constituencies within X number of months and all that. So that's great. Building issues. I mentioned the urns already. We had a number of gas leaks. This was great. We had a number of gas leaks over the last month, nothing serious. Our hot water heater went. So we had to replace the hot water heater about 2 weeks ago. That's not too exciting, but there was a gas smell in the boiler. But we turned the gas off to the building, and as a result, the pilots went out to the gas logs. So the next day we smelled gas in the reading rooms, and we went through the whole thing again. Everything's remedied. New hot water heater, no gas leaks.
Close the library each time.
We closed the library for the initial week and had fire department come and the National Grid come, and we checked it all out, and that was great. The second time they were here doing the work, it was a Thursday morning.
So they were.
So we were closed. They happened to be on site. We took care of it without having to do anything. So that would have been annoying, but yes, that was all set. We've had some issues with stains on furniture in the large print room. So if you see that there's missing furniture there, it's because we've had some, they've been stained for one reason or another. But we were, as I mentioned in my slideshow earlier, we're replacing all of that furniture. So it's just temporary. We'll have new furniture in there. New cleaner started July 1st. So far, so good. Mentioned the urns earlier. We talked about all these things under town. Capital committee requests are due in about 2 weeks. I'm working with Tom McCarthy and Consolidated Facilities for ours. They include carpeting, HVAC upgrades, paving or blacktopping of our current parking lot, and concrete work on the outside of the building. Talked about all of the legislation. I am co-hosting an advocacy boot camp. This is our second year. We do it at the Worcester Public Library. It's for librarians and trustees and friends. Last year's advocacy boot camp was for how to advocate to your state reps. This year's is how to advocate to your city council, select board, etc. We have a couple of speakers and a couple of roundtables for that. It's a one-day event that the Mass Library Association Legislative and Advocacy Committee runs, and I am the co-chair of that. Mass Center for the Book gives out the Massachusetts Book Awards every year. I've been asked to chair the Fiction Book Awards for 2026. So I won't read as many books as Sarah will for her ALA award, but mine will be longer. So That's gonna happen over the fall. I've worked with the Center for the Book on other things in the past, they're a great organization. And I'll skip. OCLN is moving along fine. We're gonna change our computer system. This time next year, we'll have switched over to a new computer system. OCLN hasn't upgraded that in 20 years. It's it's due. We're trying to standardize due dates across the network, so when you check things out, they're not due back in 1 week, 2 weeks, and 3 weeks. There's only one library that's holding out. I think we'll get there sooner than later. I'll tell you who the library is if you ask me later. And Patriot Point I talked about. SEMLA is the Southeast Mass Library Advocacy Group. We try to advocate within the Southeast region of Massachusetts. They just formed, I've been helping them as a Mass Library Association person.
It's a
Yes.
thing, focus group we used to have years ago with the legislators. Is that the one?
Yeah, they're trying to bring it back.
We tried to bring
Yep,
it back,
yep.
because I was thinking about.
Yeah, yeah, we would do breakfast and things like that.
Breakfast,
Yeah, so, that's what that SEMLA group will do. And we have not announced it yet, but we have, let's see. We worked, the writer in residence group worked over the past summer. To select a new writer in residence, and like every year we've done this. It's come down to two people who like both would be perfect, so it's a really difficult choice. Susan could I hopefully agree, it's a difficult choice every year. Some people have applied multiple times and like they've been that person and they've gotten it, things like that, so. We're not making a public announcement, although this is a semi-public announcement, it's an open meeting, but Kim McLaren, Milton resident, professor, dean at Emerson, an author of several books and other writing, is gonna be the next writer in residence. We're gonna be excited to announce her. Before we do that, Calvin Hennick's last event is at 6:30 on Thursday, September 18th. So that'll be the closing ceremony for one, and then we'll announce the new one at the end of the month. We're really excited for Kim to join us in the coming year. She's also in the midst of applying for a Fulbright scholarship, so she'll be done with that application process before she starts the residency, which is great timing. So that was a lot of things, but we hadn't seen each other really since June, so I apologize for the long list.
No apologies. Any questions for Will?
I had one question, which was who pays for the social worker that comes to our library? Is it the town or it's coming out of our budget?
It's she's a member of the health department budget, so it's
Okay.
it's mutually beneficial for her to come and do office hours here because she gets a little bit more notice here than in the health department at times.
Okay, no.
Here, right, coming on and off for about a year.
Yeah. It's on the schedule.
Yeah,
Look at the schedule.
so yeah, we put it in the newsletter, we put it in the schedule.
So that's all, it was, I think, yeah.
But the other thing with the social worker now that we have an outreach group is that we're going to kind of advertise that as a benefit to the. For certain groups to come to the library on certain days, if they want access to a social worker. We've worked with Anne a number of times in the last year when we've needed advice from a social worker. We've had incidents where we're not the right people to approach a library user about either a behavior or something else. And she's been fantastic, just the best.
Yeah,
Great
I'm
resource.
not questioning the need for one. I was just curious about the budget
Yeah,
part. A lot of
We're not
libraries
paying
have a
for it.
social worker, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I would consider it, but yes. Good question.
Good question. Any other questions for Will?
Great job, Will.
Thank you.
Thank you, Will. Moving on, communications, next steps with library partners, we had them early, I don't know if we need to. With that, we'll move on to other. I have another topic, but I'll open it up to the floor if anybody else has an other they want to bring up. No others? Good segue, because I think you went into writer in residency. Renee Voigt, her Voigt's wife reached out to me. In regards to the writer in residency, she would like to fundraise on her own. She's thinking about up to $4,000 a year. And to give it to us for the writer, specifically for the writer in residency program, which is close to her point. It can be for sponsoring a speaker or anything else. I don't know if you want to add some other commentary to it, Will.
I'll add some commentary to it. So the writer in resident position is named in honor of Herb Voigt. And it was one of his ideas when he was a trustee. And so we were able to bring it to fruition after he passed. Justin, his son, has been on the selection committee the entire time. And Ronit and her family come to many of the programs. She and I have talked on and off over the last couple of years because she's wanted to be able to give back. She wants to sustain this program. She wants to help do that. I think for this coming year, there's two things. One, we've been given, I think it's $6,000 honorarium since it began 5 years ago, kind of because of COVID. We might want to consider increasing the honorarium from the trustees end of things. I don't think it's so extreme. It's not such a large expense that it's cost prohibitive to consider that. We could talk about that in November. But also in that time, the writers and residents have often brought in colleagues or recruited people that they just know of to do other programs in relation to them or just sit on a panel with them. And we've never really had a way, we haven't built in a way to pay for that. So it would almost be like the writer in residence receives their stipend, but in addition, I think the money that Ronit and the Voigt family would like to raise could go towards supporting the writer while they're in residency, so that they can have their own programming fund. So for instance, this year, Calvin Hennick did a program on baseball cards, so we bought baseball cards. Where did that money come from? He hosted a couple of roundtables and he had the writers come in, and so they received an honorarium, and where did that money come from? So this would create that kind of supportive pool of money to go towards the residency, or it could go to help offset increases in the overall cost of the writer in residence. So there's a number of ways to go for it. And Ronit would be happy to talk to any number of us, or Jim and I can continue to talk to Ronit about it. So
She asked that we bring it up to the trustees, so you're aware.
this is Ronit's
Her husband.
Yeah.
Her husband.
Husband.
He was the trustee of the library.
Jesus.
And he passed.
I think that sounds great. I think it's smart to also raise the honorarium so we get quality candidates. I'm a little embarrassed that it's been this many years, and I'm often the one that suggests.
I know.
I'm embarrassed that cost inflation hasn't incorporated that. Second is I absolutely encourage anyone to wants to be appointed to the nations. I think it's always very responsible to be very pointed language that the money is to be spent by the director, the decision of how that money is spent. It's going to the program, right? It's spent by the director or by the person who's
Yeah, right.
really clear about that.
Yeah.
Because no matter how clear you are about it, some people
Yeah.
can't help themselves and say, and I'd love to see, and then they're disappointed. They feel like they've been mistreated when there was never any promise that it was going to be done that way that they're. So you can't be too explicit on front end of that. So I just want to be sure to do it.
And she's also involved with the Bronx State Movement Society, and
Right.
that's also, Hertz, one of Hertz's passion. You know, he actually used to do it on his house.
Yeah,
So,
during COVID, we
Yeah.
hosted, people from the Browns Beethoven Society
so sad.
as part of a memorial.
Memorial.
Yeah. So I mean, maybe in November, we come with a recommendation for increasing the stipend. But in the meantime, I think a $4,000 a year from the Boyd family will be a great addition to this program.
To support the program.
Specifically to support the program.
Yes.
And like I said, Justin has been involved in the selection all along, and I have regular conversations with Renee too.
Perfect. Well, Renee thanks the trustees for our support of the program. She's very appreciative. I think next steps are you and I should meet
Yeah.
with Renee, so.
Right. Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, and I should say this too, the stipend is great, and I think we could be more generous with it, but overwhelmingly, the people who have applied, both people who've gotten and people who have been runners up, they're often people who are looking for a way to give back to Milton. And they don't want to be like a town meeting member, they don't want to be on PTO. This is what they know how to do, and this is how they want to give back, and it's really great to see and experience those conversations too, so.
All right. Thank you. All right, moving on to new business. A couple of action items. So I think, Will, you're going to post the first one up on the policy, approval of the library warrants policy. We don't have a warrants policy. I think it's more of a practice process that we've been doing. And Chris Holland, who's not here, this is coming from her initially. I could read it too, but I think you all can read, right?
Yes. But specifically, word more here is quest for money, that's.
This is the process that Jan's always looking for approval.
This is, so, this is the process where whenever we have to pay bills, we need to get a number of signatures from trustees. And so Chris brought this up, over the summer maybe,
Yeah,
when we needed signatures and she's brought it up in conversation in the past, we've never really, done anything about it, but the idea of, waiting to, well, when you get down to it, we've already spent this money, or we've gotten the bill, by the time you sign it, like, we've already had the plumber
already
come
been
and fix
processed.
the. So this is one of those antiquated bureaucratic things that town governments, some still do this, some do not. So some have updated a policy like to something like this, and some remain the way that you have to have signatures, so.
There's not a policy in place. I would recommend a policy written for November.
Right. And that's, I could bring a written policy that Jim and I can work on.
Great.
Unless someone's totally against they want to approve every warrant.
So I was a library trustee. Many years ago in Abington, and when I started on that board. We had to sign every individual bill, like the phone bill every month, so like. You would go in and it would be a stack like this, we'd sign every individual page, so, that's not, they've moved to this, but there were steps in between, obviously, but yeah. Cause that's the way it always was. So.
Is it safe to say we should wait until November to the policy to look at it and approve it versus?
yeah, whenever one.
But it's good, you said that this meaning correct,
Yes, yeah, or.
so let's do the formal stuff and then make it official.
I agree. All right. Moving on to staff conference attendance requests. In your packet, I do believe there was 2 staff member requests. for our conference. We are looking for a motion to approve up to 4,000. And the funds would come from the general fund to pay for these two staff conferences.
So moved.
And John, all in favor?
Aye.
Yeah, just so these are for two individuals to attend. One will be the Public Library Association Conference and one will be the American Library Association Conference. I'm trying to get more staff to also want to go to these. PLA especially is great for anybody who works in public libraries, so we might come back with another request, but it's great opportunities for them. Thank you.
I'm sorry, so that was for the ALA conference and
PLA, this is the second. one.
PLA.
Yep.
And that was $4,000.
Yes.
Purple,
From the general fund. No,
purple, Argentina.
Total,
for both, for both.
it covers both, yes.
Covers the kids. All right, also in your packet, we've been looking at one or two policies every meeting. In this meeting, there is the tutor usage policy. Any major updates, Will, or is it still the same as previous?
There were two grammatical changes we made. And one other change was, it listed places that you can't reserve, and we added study rooms, so that was the only thing. No, there's really no changes to the policy. We reviewed it, among multiple staff members. But we like to look at these things on a regular basis in case something does change significantly.
I think it's excellent, how specific it is. I remember this policy, but I don't remember it being this good. Because the more specific and clear you are, the better, right? And when people know it's clear, and then they respect it. When it's vague, and then they take advantage of it because they say, I couldn't tell, I didn't know.
Yeah, and it's also like, thank you, Paul. We created this policy when there was like a need for it.
Yeah.
And we haven't had to like enforce it in a number of years because the policy was clear and got to the point. So, thank you.
I'll look for a motion for approval. Thank you, Jamie. A second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Excellent. All right. Other future meetings, and November 10th is our next scheduled meeting. December committee meetings and January 5th already coming. They goes by fast. In November will be the budget and finance, strategic plan, and parking as always.
Slow process. One steady.
Before I ask for a motion to adjourn, is there any other business that needs to be raised? Being nothing, I'll take a motion to adjourn. Thank you, Isaac. I'll take the second. Thank you, John. All in favor? Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Sean.
Thank you.
Thanks,